I'm big time excited, man. So I don't know if we got a chance to talk about this, but the NHL, they're about to return, man.
What?
Yeah. So last week they had some of their meetings in terms of discussing the format of if they were going to return, what it would be, and they came up with a 24-team playoff. So the first round or the first 2 rounds is going to be a 5-game series, and then from there they'll go to the traditional 7-game series, right? But today, which is what, the 26th day of the 5th month of the year, 26th day of May, the commissioner is supposed to be speaking around 4:30, I want to say, to officially announce the return of NHL, which is going to be the first major team sport to return since this whole COVID situation. So this is like a big deal, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. First off, obviously Pens. We talk about the Pens here. We know, especially in Pittsburgh, how big of a deal they are. Multi-year champions, star players, Sid, the kid, obviously, Evgeny Malkin. They have just a ton of people that you can go down the list on. But the thing that I'm more excited about is I feel like with hockey, let's be real about it, it's a niche sport, right? Not everybody is in tune to hockey and how fast paced, how exciting it is. And I think traditionally this time of year, well, when their playoffs are going on, they're still competing with, like you said, the NBA. MLB is obviously starting up. You're still dealing with the offseason of football starting back up with OTAs and things. So sometimes it gets overshadowed. Whereas now they're going to get a chance to be the spotlight when they return, because no other major league team sport is going to be playing. And I think people are really going to get a chance to see just how exciting hockey is. And for me, man, I'm excited, man.
Wow. So this looks like it's going to be a pirate situation for me now. Never really watched the Pens at all. But
wow.
You know what? Let's go Pens.
Okay, all right. I mean, for me, man, I definitely check out the Pens a lot. Go to the games. Like, I love it.
What's the breakdown here? It's been a minute. What's the outlook?
Man, so honestly, for the Pens, they have to be feeling good because prior to the COVID situation, they were going on a rough patch. They had dropped, it was probably 5 of their last 7 or 8 games.
They just made a couple trades, right?
Yeah, they had made a couple of trades before for the deadline. Obviously, they brought in Jason Zucker. I forgot, that's probably 4 or 5 other key guys that had been successful, but have little been up and down these past couple of years. So they brought all those guys in, and they were just taking some time to gel, which is normal. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries on the defensive side too, and was it Jake Gensel? He was missing a ton of time, but now he's going to be back out there because of how long this break has been. So that's a huge plus. And then obviously Chris Letang was able to return, and that helped them out a little bit. But overall, man, for those guys, when you look at the star power that they already have, and now you're assuming that these guys have still been in communication with each other. They still have been building that rapport. I think the biggest thing is going to be when it comes down to ice time together. How have they been able to handle that situation throughout this whole COVID thing? Because with football, obviously you can see Ben go to a high school football field with Juju, James, and Switzer and get some passes in, but there's not a lot of ice rinks just available to people. And that's the biggest thing. So it's like, how have those guys been able to, number one, stay in shape, but number two, continue to build that rapport, because with so many new guys being brought here. But overall, for the playoff format, though, I think that it's a great opportunity for the Pens, because a lot of times, as long as you got those star players, obviously we're talking about Sid, we're talking about Malkin, that can get you out of, 1 or 2 rounds, especially in a 24-team format. That's going to get you out of that easier. And then you're hoping by then, just the accumulation of games that you were playing those 2 series, by the time it gets to the 7-game series, the ones that really count, that will be a traditional playoff format, now those newer guys have got a chance to get back in the groove. Now the guys like a Gensel, who's missed a ton of time, has a chance to get back feeling comfortable out there. So for me, man, I'm excited about it, man. Obviously, the goalie play is going to be huge too, with Matt Murray and Tristan Jarry. Those 2 guys were up and down throughout the season, and it was kind of like the equivalent of when I would watch some of the teams with quarterbacks that, hey, they got 2 good quarterbacks, but you don't know who's the guy. So they're alternating in between game in and game out. And that's what you were seeing with Matt Murray and Tristan Jarry. And it was coming down to Matt Murray was actually starting to play better. But then obviously the COVID thing happened. So it's going to be interesting to see how those 2 guys get back out there working together, and who Sullivan's going to ride. Is it going to be the hot hand, or is he going to continue to alternate these guys? So I'm excited about it, man. It's going to be a fun time. And just like how I discovered NASCAR during COVID, and I've been able to become a NASCAR fan, Now people are gonna be able to discover NHL and they can become hockey fans. My gift to y'all.
When are they saying it's coming back?
Man, so it's supposed we're hoping to find out, like I said, later today, the exact date, but they're talking from my understanding, June.
Like if you're them, you would want early to mid-June,
yes.
just because if basketball is coming back, they're talking about mid-July.
Right. So they're gonna be the first team for like
so
a
you
couple
have a
of
month
weeks, right,
of nothing else,
yes.
which would be great for the NHL.
But we're gonna hear the exact like start date and the full format of how they're going about having the players come in and work out and things like that. But for me, I think it's a unique experience solely for the fact that at least when you talk about basketball, the majority of those guys in the NBA are still Americans. You know what I mean? So it's a lot easier in terms of everybody's right here controlling that element of it. Whereas when you talk NHL, I mean, the vast majority of the players are from all over the country. Like they're not just solely Americans.
Canada,
it's
Europe,
not dominated
Russia.
by America. Right. So in that regard, some of those guys could have left. It's hard to track. Okay, did everybody stay where they were playing? Like you said, for some of the guys who had just gotten traded, they had literally been on the team for 2 weeks. And then this happens. You think they're going to stay in a hotel for this whole situation, or were they going to go back home to where everything was at that they needed, their families, their wives, their children, and things like that? So for the NHL to still be able to figure out this plan and communicate it across with the coaches and get the NHLPA, the players union and stuff like that to be on board with, I think that's huge, man.
Nah, dude, that would be really cool.
And I'm excited. Let's go, Pens!
That would be really cool. It seems like everything, all sports, are trending in a positive direction.
Yeah, man.
I just saw a headline today. Dolphins manager, Dolphins owner said no doubt season's happening. So
well, and I've been seeing that too. They're saying season is a strong possibility will happen. Fans in attendance, that's the biggest